Collective, episode 7. I am so behind. They literally had the reunion, and I am now filming episode 7. But I have recapped other episodes. Some of them will be on the eye, one of them will be at the end of my channel, and some of them will be down below, and the rest will be end of this video, not end of the channel. I knew I said something wrong, I couldn't recall. Down below, some of them will be down below, and some of them will be on my channel. So be sure to check them out, as well as my other videos on my channel. Wink, wink. Anyway, Belle Collective, episode 7. Called Sistervention. Play on intervention, so you can guess that this went left. But keep watching for my thoughts on episode 7. Bye. I mean, not bye, but keep watching is what I'm trying to say. Okay, in this episode, we find out that Marie is doing a lot. So she has lupus, which she discussed either in previous episode or previous episodes, either episode 6 or episode 5. I did recap. Anyway, and she revealed here that she actually has fibromyalgia. I'm not really sure what fibromyalgia is, but the lupus alone is like a lot. And she actually reveals that sometimes she goes without her meds so she can take care of, I guess, her grandkids. And I'm like, Marie, what are you doing? That's a lot. I mean, she's having to step up to the plate for everyone. And here she has to like make herself not a priority, or take a back seat to herself just to make sure everyone else is okay. That's not good. And then this was, when she revealed this was a sit down between her son and 2 of the 3 mothers of his children. And at the end, the mothers of his children actually revealed that they would like to get together with the children. And I thought that was so beautiful. Because they are so close in age, they are related, the boys are. So it'll be good for them to have that bond starting early, and for the women to be able to establish some kind of relationship early, you know. And then Miss Antoinette. So after, I don't know if it was after she filed for divorce or after she got divorced, she went to Ghana and she met herself, you know, a man. I believe it was after her divorce, named David, I believe, and he does his own thing in Seattle. But he came down to Mississippi just to go on a date with her. And I'm like, Antoinette, can you teach me your ways that some guy will fly from Seattle to Mississippi just to go on one date? Like, girl, what? Sis. And it was a cute little date, you know, by the little picnic table, you know, some fruit, some champagne or something. It was really cute, but she didn't get flew out. He flew himself out. You know what I'm saying, city girls? What? Okay, Antoinette. He was cute. She seemed to really enjoy herself, and the fact that they stayed like in touch throughout this whole time, you know, that was really nice. So then Marie kind of delves more into her relationship with her husband, and it is not good at all. I mean, he's like staying out late at night, not coming home. I don't know if I mentioned this, but they had got married and divorced, and they obviously got separate places, and she says even though they got back together, they still kept those separate places. So like, he has a place to go, and apparently he's been staying there. So Marie is dating with her son, her grandkids, her kids, her like 10 businesses, her day-to-day life, and then on top of that, her marriage. I mean, Marie is like going and going and going. I'm like, how does she do it? When does she ever have time to take a breath for herself? I mean, she has so much going on, and then you kind of understand why things might go left, you know? It's just a really sad situation. So then Letitia sits down again with the congressman, who came to her brunch. If you remember, the brunch went completely left, and he actually left early because it went left. And he mentions that people have been talking about Letitia's brunches around town and how it's getting a bad reputation. And that really caused her some distress, because these brunches, of course my brother wants to shred something right now. Brothers got to love them. So people have been talking about the brunches, and she's been having these brunches for like 5 years plus. And for most recently, like 2 of them to go bad is not good for business. And obviously she broke down because she's like, you know, I want to accomplish this thing on Ferris Street and my reputation is being tarnished. So she was very, very upset about that. And so eventually, the reason for the episode, as I mentioned, is because it's called Sistervention. And the ladies sit down with, it's Antoinette, is it Mel? No. It was Letitia, Tambra, Antoinette, Latrice, and I think Mel was there. If Mel wasn't there, I don't want to put her in a bad place. Yeah, Mel, were you there? Mel, tell me if you were there. Anyway, I think Mel was there. But they sit down, and they're basically wanted to come to Letitia to say, hey, Marie is not good for business. And that's kind of how it started, and then it just all went, once again, left. Tambra and Antoinette got into it. Letitia is kind of looking like, how you gonna say Marie is bad for business? Like, y'all over here arguing right now. And then she kind of said, yeah, Mel was there. But, yeah, my whole thing was, why don't you speak to Marie? Like, it seems like everyone is addressing the issue except to the person that it needs to be addressed. Like, I felt like Marie should have been there to defend herself. Apparently, the ladies don't really know. It seems like only Tambra and Letitia know Marie. So the other ladies only saw a snippet of Marie. You know, they don't know the real her. So I really feel like they should have invited Marie, that way she can explain what's going on. And maybe they would have understood. But yeah, as I said, Tambra and Antoinette stood up and started, you know, once this gets going, you know, it's going left. And they got a little loud at each other. And yeah, Latrice and Mel were over there like having their own conversation while they were fighting. And I forgot where I was for a second. I just thought that was so interesting, because there's like this meme of, you know, a house being on fire and everyone's like looking over like, oh my word, and someone's just like swinging on the swings, like minding their business. And that's kind of what they were doing while they were having a go at it. But eventually it calmed down, and Antoinette apologized, because she was like, this is not what we're about. Like, if we're trying to be 100% entrepreneurship, supporting Black women, we can't be getting into it. So yeah, they apologized, and it seemed like they were good at the end of it. But I just thought that was so interesting. Basically their sistervention did not help at all. Like, it did not resolve anything. They got into it, and I don't understand why it was even needed to be called, when the person that, like, you all were just going to be talking behind Marie's back and not addressing her to find out what was going on, or not talking to her to find out what was going on. That is what you need to do. Luckily, it didn't get, I mean, they wouldn't have put hands on each other because that's not really their style, but the yelling alone. Once this started, Anyway, I really like this show. I know I'm behind. Also, can I say, I was surprised. You know what? I'm going to talk about it next episode because episode 8 is going to be right after this. It's going to be on the same video because I'm going to put 9, which was the series finale, and the reunion together on the same video as well because I want to get it out. But episode 8 coming at you now. Episode 8 of Belle Collective, entitled Contracts and Balances. Don't ask me why I'm talking like that. So, Letitia went to brunch with Marie, and she kind of explained what's been going on with her project, the Ferris Street project. And Marie apologized to Marie because she realized 2 of the brunches have gone left. I have been involved in the drama with 2 of these brunches. Obviously, I am contributing somewhat. So she did apologize to Letitia, which I thought was very good and very nice of her to realize, like, hey, you know, it popped off. It shouldn't have popped off. So I appreciated Marie doing that, and I think that was so good, especially for their friendship, you know? So then Latrice, she is having a photo shoot for her essential hair, and the models are late, which I believe it was a Claremont with twins. They were late. There was no clean water, and the photographer didn't know he was supposed to shoot, and he didn't know the concept. These are all 3 very bad things to go wrong. Number 1, your models. And the models only had like a couple hours. Like they had a set time. Oh, when we come, we only have a couple hours to shoot. And then no clean water. They needed the water because they needed to do the model's hair with her hair care line. And then the photographer, obviously you need a photographer. And then if photographer is late, but your models need to leave at a certain time. Not good. Okay. And then, but it got fixed. Okay. So, Letitia decided to do something nice. Sorry, I'm gonna put my finger here. Decided to do something nice for Glenn. And she got dressed up, cooked in some food. The pie, poor pie, that poor pie was a mess. Cooked in some food and hired a singer to go hide in the closet. And then when she said something, the singer was supposed to pop out. The singer did not pop out at the right time. She had to keep saying the key word in order for her to pop out. Eventually she popped out. And Glenn was all happy with everything, and then he just bypassed everything and was like, but what about the contract? Glenn, if you don't stop talking about this daggone contract. She tried to do all this stuff to show you that you were a priority, and it was right to the contract. Why? Come on now, Glenn. Glenn. But yeah, back to the photo shoot. Cliff solved the problem. He was like, just use bottled water, you know, which I was thinking that the entire time. I'm like, why don't y'all just use bottled water? Eventually they got it together, but the shoot came together. It went smoothly. It looks really great, and I'm glad that she's getting, you know, her brand together, and her brand is really popping off. So Tambra decides to show a reel because if you remember, she wants to get into like television and do more serious things. Well, she's doing serious things, but she wants to branch out into other areas of entertainment. So she shows a reel to Gary with the T, and his face as soon as it started was like, no. He was just like, you are over the top. I mean, she had big sunglasses. You know, her hair is already fabulous, but she had big sunglasses, humongous earrings, like she was the center of attention. And he basically said, when you're doing the news, you need to kind of just blend in with everyone. The news is the important part, not your outfit. And at one point she goes, should I show this to anyone? He's immediately like, no, do not show this to anyone. No one needs to see this at all. Just cut it out. And I agree with him. Like, watching that, I was completely distracted by her. I did not catch any of the news that she was talking about at all. y'all, I just want to say sorry I'm so nasally. I don't know what is going on, but well, I do know what's going on. Allergy season, sinuses, and it's all coming through my nose. Oh Lord, I have to go to work tomorrow. How am I supposed to breathe with? I work in a how am I supposed to breathe with just a mask? Oh, they already can't hear me. How they gonna hear me now? Anyway, but because Glenn keeps bringing up the contract and they can't seem to get over it, Letitia decides to go to a balancing coach, which I guess is kind of similar to a life coach, but she really helps people work out how to balance like work-life balance. Duh. But I have to say, I'm really happy that this is like the second time that we have seen where two separate cast members are like seeking professional outside help to try to resolve something, and I really appreciated that. So yeah. So Glenn goes to pull out a contract again, and lo and behold, Letitia pulls out a contract, and Glenn was like, what? He was so shocked, but she was like, I knew you were going to pull out that contract anyway, so I just had to pull out my own contract. And she made a perfect point. She said Glenn wants the money because if you remember, he's asking for part of her business. Glenn wants the money, and Letitia was like, I want the marriage. And I think that was very eye-opening because it's like y'all are wanting two completely different things out of this. Also, why would Glenn want her money? She's over here hustling. You're not contributing. Why would you want her money? I mean, maybe he's contributing financially and we just didn't know, but it seems like she's the one putting in the work. Like, she's doing this while I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by my phone. So, later on, we find out that Marie and Essie are about to close on their building. Sorry for my finger. Are about to close on their building. 10,000 square foot building. Like, woohoo! That's an accomplishment. But they are about to close on their building, and so they decide to go out to dinner or lunch, one of the two. And let's just say Essie does not like Marie's husband at all. She called him, and a quote, a parasite. A parasite. So she does not like this guy. And she just feels like, at this point, like, what's the point of Cedric? Like, he's not contributing as a partner. What is the point of him? And so they had agreed that they would not travel unless they traveled together. And he traveled to Aruba for 2 weeks. So, you know, he already messed up there. And then later on, we find out that he came home for like 2 days before and he had not reached out to her. Yeah. And apparently like other women were involved. It was just like, they weren't even in the aspect of dating. This was like an open relationship where only one side is open at this point. I mean, so Essie came over, helped pack his stuff, and they left it at some house that they said was his that looked like it was under construction. And that was the end of Cedric at this point because Maria's done, Essie's done. She's just like, what are you contributing to my life? Like, you're not agreeing to the rules that we have in place. You're disrespecting me. You're not coming home. We're not even roommates. You know, like, this is not a marriage. So Marie's done. One of her headaches is gone. Or one of her responsibilities is gone. She's lighter, pretty much is what I'm trying to say. And then we find out that Miss Tambra is number 1 at her slot for radio. That is a huge accomplishment. Like I was trying to say, jeez, my phone battery, do better. So Tambra got number 1 in her slot for radio, which is like a huge accomplishment. Very huge. So they gave her like a little celebration, which was really cute, and she was so excited. Like her boss called her in and she's like, what is going on? He is never calling me anywhere. But she was really excited. But yeah, that's the end of episode 8. Like I said, I was surprised when they announced the series finale. I'm not sure if it had to do with COVID, but it just seemed like it went by quick, like the season went by quick. But episode 9 and the reunion are going to be combined into one episode, one video on my channel. So be sure to subscribe to make sure that you don't miss that. And yeah, thank you for watching. Share your thoughts with episodes 7 and 8 down below. Okay, thank you. Bye.